Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. We are back with the Access Houston Roundtable. Welcoming back some folks we haven't seen in a while. He is the political outreach director. Let's give it up for my man, James Burnett. How are you, man?
I'm good. It's good to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah. She is just the lovely, and she is our Republican friend. Also, you got so many titles, Leola.
I have so many. It's Leola, just conservative. We don't have to put
our conservative Leola
our
Mariah,
conservative Leola Mariah, conservative feminist comedian.
She has been riding with me throughout this entire election season.
No,
really
I
appreciate it.
Yes, I have.
The Raptivist, Genesis Blue, and therapist Genesis Blue.
Yeah, what's up, H-Town? We back at it.
We are back at it. So Tuesday, midterm elections. If you let I don't know, the media tell it, you know, there wasn't a blue wave, and, you know, all of the big contests well, actually it's still going on. I mean,
literally.
First, you know, even though Beto lost, and as far as we know, Stacey Abrams in Georgia and Andrew Gillum in Florida, those are being contested right now with either a recount and or a runoff. So it's not over for Stacey Abrams and Andrew Gillum in Florida and Georgia. But right here in Texas, now that Beto lost, but 3 points. I mean, it was good. Even though he lost the seat to Ted Cruz, I think that he helped get a lot of other Democratic people that were running for Congress on the other side. So I don't think that it was a total loss. I mean, here in Harris County, we had 19 black women running for judges. All 19 got in.
Yes.
When you look at it, and there were a lot of firsts, a lot of women that got voted in. So from my lens, I didn't see it as a big loss. I thought it was. I was like, hey, okay, we moving.
I thought it was a win for everything, actually, because the one thing I can say about this whole political season that I've been running from you because I was like, I'm just too sad to face him right now.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I always have to go, I'm me, Lil Wayne. So, but I said it was a win for everyone because it got a lot of people involved and really knowing who they had to vote for. I thought that was pretty wonderful, in my opinion. Any way you look at it, if your person lost, we have so many more people who are educated about the process.
Yes,
So.
I definitely want to echo that. Absolutely. I thought, they're going to try to minimize it like there was a loss. I think there were wins on both sides, and nationwide and statewide and locally.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like really amazing, and absolutely that's the problem. We haven't been all paying attention, and now everybody's like, wait, what happens when I vote?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to vote straight.
Yes.
Like, I could go and say,
Right.
I'm not voting for this guy. I'm not even voting for any of those people.
Exactly.
You know, I think it was a blue wave, but not a blue wave on the level that we thought it would be. In the races we thought that we'll have the wave in.
Okay.
You got to realize there are very few Republicans left in Harris County. I think the only Republican to successfully defend his seat was Jack Hagel. Like you said, 19 black judges elected. You go to Fort Bend County, they swept the entire county. There's not a Republican left in Fort Bend County.
Wow.
So I think Del Beto lost, and it was disappointing. His race and him activizing a lot of people and getting them out. You're right. Getting them out to vote is the reason that a lot of people who probably wouldn't have got over the hump and got elected. So I'm happy. I mean, I wish there were a few other races that had different outcomes, but I'm happy to see that, in my opinion, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I don't think Beto is too. It's Beto, right?
That's right.
All right, because I kept on saying Beto, and I
No,
kept
it's
on.
Beto.
I was told off of.
He-
I was told off a few times by my niece, and she was like, "He is so hot." I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know, but he is so hot. And he was in San Antonio, and he went to like 5 other events, and he's been all over, and
Everywhere, working up a sweat.
He was like everywhere.
254
She
counties?
was he said, and she was like, "What has Ted Cruz done?" And I was like,
Cricket.
"All right, I'll wait." And then she was like, "Oh my God, his mugshot, he was so bae." And I went, "That's it. I'm going to go vote," because I really wasn't. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Oh, you were gonna abstain.
I was, because my phone rang incessantly. I got text messages all day, all night. I gave up my Apple Watch because I was like, I can't do it anymore. And then if you didn't vote one way, then you were a racist, sexist, feminist, you hate immigrants if you don't vote this. And it was just like, it was too much. And I was like, but I got really mad that day, and I ran out of the house, and I was like, I am so mad, I'm going to vote.
Okay.
So I'm a very special comedian.
So people are asking now what for Beto. I saw Twitter just suggesting, hey, I saw a lot of Beto 2020, and I was like, I mean, hey, it's possible.
That was his emotion. I think it was his intention.
It comes down.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean,
That's
it
what I
comes
think,
down
too.
to what he really wants to do. He spent the last 22 months running for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, it
I
can
mean,
be
if he's
exhausting.
going to run for president again, he maybe has 2, 3, 4 months to take off.
Uh-huh.
Then he's got to start fundraising.
gotta start
About
all
announcing
over.
around mid-March. I
mean, that's why he didn't share.
It's another 22 months running for president.
Yeah.
So
That's
I think it comes
How
down
much
to what does he
money did he, if he lost, how much money did he still have with that campaign funding? Because he said, I was not sharing by fundraising because.
Well, of course
I don't have an
not.
exact number. If I was to just guesstimate, it should be somewhere around $38 million.
Whoa,
Yeah.
still
So-
left?
And the one thing that the
Whoa.
Democrats were upset about on the whole was that, hey, you can share this wealth
So
here,
that's
and
yeah.
this can
And
help.
He was like, no.
He was like,
Well, these
no.
people gave this money to
me.
to help him.
But
compensate
the problem was there. If you're a socialist, then that kind of, I don't know. For me, I was like, I
It's a
don't.
gray
socialist.
area.
It's a gray
It's a
area.
gray
But
area.
he's not a
So,
socialist, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they donated the money to him. He was trying to flip a seat that turned out to be not flippable, but he made it pretty competitive. But
Yeah.
he
So
needed
he
all
did.
the money that
He
he
did.
could to get
Yeah.
that apparatus around him, to get the media out, to pay those field organizers to knock those doors. So I mean, I don't fault him for not spreading the wealth to candidates out of state who, quite frankly, didn't need the money.
Yeah.
But why did we have LeBron James endorse him?
we had several people.
I
I
mean, we had
don't
several celebrities. Beyonce on
understand.
the last
It's
day,
like
but I mean-
he was on Ellen,
because he
and
stands for the things they
He did.
believe in.
But
I
that's
understand it very clearly.
but I feel like he's nationalizing his campaign instead of
I think
focusing on Texas.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
he
it's not
focused on
his-
Texas, and the nation focused
Focused
on him.
Yeah. There you
because
go.
I mean, it's
I mean,
not his fault.
for
that
working
Ellen
on
Because
his
it's the
campaign.
social media
I mean,
age.
for
They
what-
said, "What is this guy
I
doing
mean-
down here in Texas?" I
Yeah.
like that. I
I
want to
was
get.
like,
So
I
when
watched
has-
his campaign early on before
I know.
this video that blew up.
Right,
I still
and that
remember
was
when
the
he
one that
could
got
when
him.
he was doing town halls, and if 100 people showed up, it was great. Where he could still take pictures with everybody in the room and still talk to everybody and make them feel like they're important. And after that video, he was drawing massive crowds, and they had to pull him out just to get him to the next event. I think that it
Is
was
it called
his,
Now This?
about the NFL, the players
His
kneeling.
question about the
Where he
players
gave a
kneeling,
very
it
eloquent
was
answer, but
very-
once that went viral, that's when the nation started focusing on him.
That's right.
But he's
That's-
always
I
his
remember
main
that.
focus was always on the people of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I got an
That's why
email.
he
like
lost
that.
254
Good answer.
Yeah, I
counties.
was.
But
I remember I got an email about come run with Beto, and like.
And I couldn't do those running town halls.
No, I said, does he know how hot it is outside? And
Oh my God.
I said, I almost
You're the
wanted,
comic relief this morning.
I really wanted to. I
Right,
really
right.
wanted to go, but I was like, I'm not running outside, and that's sweaty, and I'm
But
good.
in terms of what's next, some people are saying a vice presidency might be a good look. Like they're saying Biden and him, or Bernie and him, which Bernie we all know now, but he just slipped up and said some people don't like.
Well, they're looking at it because he's shown that Texas is now a battleground state.
Bottom line.
He's shown that a Democrat can win Texas.
well,
So what it
I've
means is,
heard-
depending on who is our nominee in 2020, whether it's him or whether he's the vice president, somebody's going to have to spend some time in Texas.
That's right.
And that's the main focus.
He set the tone.
So even if it's Republicans now having to campaign in the state, which draws resources away from Iowa, it draws resources away from Ohio, Florida, other swing states that they would normally focus on because they now have to compete in Texas.
Because we're purple.
Because it's a purple state. It is a big battleground.
We're purple.
It is.
And remember, people will be old enough to vote.
Right.
And younger people are the ones voting.
Yeah.
And so
what he's done is he's put focus on Texas. And people now have to pay
younger. I would like to see
so.
him. I really wouldn't like to see him go away because I don't, because like I said, my 20-year-old niece, and she's talking about, he's doing all of this. He wants Medicaid for all. And I'm like, okay, but he wants to like kind of raise the taxes on corporations that you kind of work for a corporation. And I try to understand, but then it doesn't matter. She is engaged. And that's all. Yeah. I was like, even though if she's engaged for something I don't like, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I don't want to see him go away because I do think it just draws the more people who can see Texas as the best state ever, that's in Houston as the best city in that state.
It is.
Then I don't see anything wrong.
And what's so wrong with the corporations who want to raise the taxes on the corporations?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know if we can get into
this now.
They
got the recent tax scam that went through. I mean, there hasn't been any proof of them using that money to invest in other things to help get people jobs as they were trying to preach to us. Not one dime. They're getting super yachts and just making them just buying things for themselves as the middle class continues on. But that's a whole nother one that wasn't on the list that we want get into.
I know. I was gonna say I don't think we have time. Hit me up.
What was ironic right after the elections is that Trump forces Jeff Sessions to resign. Basically, he got fired, and now who knows what's going to go down with the whole Mueller and Russia investigation. I read that he is, finishing up the final stages of the investigation. Our democracy is.
Don't say it.
It's been threatened.
Yeah.
And this administration just thinking that they're above the law and all this obstruction because you know what happens when you follow the money. So how interesting that this was a tweet from I think it was a comment from Kendrick Sampson, who was commenting on Sean King's Instagram page about when he posted that, and I'm paraphrasing. I think he said, the number one enemy to prison reform and the number one xenophobic guy having a spat. Like I don't know how to feel about this. Like I don't know which side.
Right.
Something. Oh, I got to pull it up. But it was so true. And I'm like, wow, the way that he put it, I'm like, okay, the accesses of evil are finally starting to break down within themselves. Because I thought that the Trump press conference afterwards, it was so combative. I think like he came to fight. And then later, he fires Sessions.
Yes.
I think
more obstruction, yes?
I think he knows he has a Democratic House that has subpoena power and oversight. And he's trying to stop his investigation before they get in office. Because the last thing he needs is House Select Committees investigating his administration.
And let's do that by pissing everyone off. Like, come on. Like, stop it.
I mean, again, this is why I love you so much. Remember the Nothing Burger? And I still think it's a Nothing Burger. Because for one, Jeff Sessions, I feel like he came in and what Trump wanted him to do, it seemed like he wasn't going along with the show. And I think he stayed on longer than I anticipated.
To Jeff Sessions' credit, he did his job.
He did
himself from the investigation.
Exactly.
Which any attorney general should have done and would have done.
And this acting guy that they want, I mean, he
technically he shouldn't be the acting. It should be the deputy attorney general who should be the acting attorney general right now.
So they just do whatever they want.
So
we said.
Yeah.
So even when you look at it on Wikipedia, it says disputed acting attorney general because technically he's not supposed to be. Though, to credit,
but it is
I find
Wikipedia.
He fired Jeff Sessions. I mean, he campaigned on drain the swamp.
Right.
And the swamp has been all people that he's elevated and then fired. So promises made, promises kept. He's draining the swamp.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
His own people. You're right. God,
Yeah,
that's a
but
good one.
if I may, when Trump got elected, the one thing I noticed, I said there's a lot of people that got him where he was, and that he's going to have to give them some job for a little amount of time. And then I knew within the first few years, people were going to cycle in and out, and then we're going to get to who Trump really wanted to have in his cabinet, people closest to him. And like that Shell guy, I knew that wasn't going to last that long. It was one of those things, well, I did you a favor, you do me a favor. And the same thing with all of the NFL stuff, when it was like, I would tell those SOBs, that kind of stuff. And it was because y'all got me here, and now you want to come around and tell me something different. And that's what I've always seen, is just y'all got me here. Here's a favor returned, and now it's done.
I don't know. This administration has had more turnover in the last 2.5 years than any other administration before it.
Favors.
I think the president wants people who will do what he tells them to do, that will not question him, that will say, no, sir, I don't think that's a good idea.
That's what he wants. That's
and
it.
when there's dissension among members of his cabinet, he fires them. And that's not how you govern. The whole purpose of the cabinet is for them to tell you how this department needs to be run, to give them their best expert opinion in the field that you made them the secretary of. And he's not listening to the advice. It's one of the reasons that Secretary Tillerson's gone. He wanted Jeff Sessions to pretty much fire Robert Mueller. He wouldn't do it. He recused himself. It's the reason that Jeff Sessions is now gone. Yeah. And you just got people not doing their jobs, like Tom Price. That's why he was gone. So it's a little bit of people not knowing how to do their job, people who do their job and tell the president things that he doesn't want to hear, and then he lets
all these
also
business people in charge.
But it's follow the money.
And running a business are
but I've always said it's still about following the money. If you see the people that were there,
that red line there.
But I'm saying if you see the people that were there, I was like, I know none of these people are going to last over 6 months to a year.
But even if that's true, is that okay?
No,
I mean, that's
not good for. I know. I understand that may not be good. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what do we have? We have a public who is looking at what exactly the administration is doing and not really focusing on what the news media is saying. And we're all going out there and we're saying, let's dig a little deeper. Let's actually investigate these things. The fact of the matter is that we're all talking about something, and we're not looking at these big media corporations that are telling us, throwing it in our face, that this is what it is. We're asking these questions, and no one can take that away and go, well, this is just administration is terrible. Well, now we know exactly who to hold accountable for every single action. When there's money that's transferred from Sessions to his wife, then to Bernie or something like that, we know that now. So how is that a bad thing? That's just more education for us.
Putting us in some really dangerous situations.
From who?
Well, Russia.
Barely. I mean, y'all saw that Instagram. Sanctions are coming. Game of Thrones.
A mixtape or something?
Yes.
This is the president of the United States posting posters on Instagram and Twitter instead of governing the nation.
I mean, and then what did we look at? Everyone saw that. And what else is going on in this country? We need to figure out what I've always said.
Look at going on in this country.
I'm saying, y'all are looking at these.
From the top. What is really going on?
I'm saying you're looking.
We have a terrorist problem, and it's white men.
Hello.
That's what's going on in this country.
Yes. Let me take my earrings off. This is the real concern.
Yeah.
And so we got another shooting.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That was really
we just
sad
talked
in
about
California.
One last week.
Yeah, we did. They are. Listen.
Nobody says anything about it.
It's a reoccurring thing in this country.
He's mentally ill.
Right.
Senator Marsha Blackburn says the first thing we need to worry about is protecting the Second Amendment. And I just found that offensive. I mean, we have 11 people die, and your first concern is making sure the Second Amendment is protected.
Well,
not the lives of the people the lives that were just lost.
And you know what was really sad?
What's that?
One of the survivors of the Vegas shooting died at the club where this mass shooter came in. Isn't that
After probably already having PTSD, said, I'm going to put myself out here
there,
again. Just
and
like
I'm
the
gonna
lady
go,
who was.
I enjoy country music. I'm going to go to this,
like,
country night
on.
and
Gone.
here another terrorist colonizer
man. Yes.
comes and shoots it up. It's just
Not only have they been white men, they've also been what kind of white men? What are their political beliefs? They've mostly been alt-right.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, I haven't seen one Democrat shoot something up yet.
Yeah. Not saying it won't happen or didn't happen, but there's definitely a theme that's going on, and we're not paying attention to that.
I wouldn't.
They're not going to acknowledge that. They're never going to acknowledge.
Who's they?
The people
the
who should be
media,
holding people accountable.
The media or
no,
political parties, I think that we need to address.
Say what the real is.
One thing that always hurts me when these shootings is like we go straight to say, well, it's the left or the right's fault. It's because of this narrative. It's because something. And no one is ever just looking at the person and saying it is their fault. I just don't, it really kills me because I always teach responsibility. That's one of my favorite things when Serena Williams, right? When she won and she was like, you did something wrong and I need you to apologize. And she said to you.
Yeah, she lost.
And I said, that's exactly what everyone needs to do. You did something wrong. And it's just very basic. If you raise children, if you talk to therapists or anything, it's like, how do we fix your problem? These people have a problem, and let's figure out what they have a problem with and stop at the biggest. Okay, Trump
mental health is a huge
right,
issue.
and mental. We
That's
all
what we're
have
saying.
mental
They
health
don't focus
issues.
on mental
But
health.
I'm
They
saying,
focus
but
on
I'm
gun
like,
rights.
but I'm saying for each of us, why can't we say, instead of saying all of these people, just say
it's a system.
Let's
We have
the
to
underlying
be real
before we
about
even that we need some common sense gun reform. Let's
I'm
put
not-
aside assault weapons ban. Let's do the things we can agree on.
if
Nobody
y'all,
is
if y'all change
against
anything,
universal
if
background checks.
anyone changes anything in Texas about anything in Texas,
over.
I swear, I don't swear. I promise you will see me in the streets marching. I don't care. Y'all better not take my guns.
Nobody's coming.
So
for your
I'm just
guns.
saying.
Nobody's coming for
I'm
your
just
guns.
putting that. I'm just making sure y'all know. You know that I said y'all ain't coming for my guns.
Nobody's coming for your guns.
Right.
All
You
we're
want to
calling
be
for is
sensible
universal
about the
background
guns you
checks.
have.
All we're saying is if you have a history of mental
Not coming
illness, that
for
you
your
probably
guns.
should not be able to purchase a firearm.
I think
All
they
I'm
are
saying,
coming
if you're
for
too
your healthcare.
dangerous to sit on a plane and be
No.
taken from point
They
A to
have
point B,
taken-
that you're probably too dangerous to own a firearm.
Yes.
Wait,
That's it. Simple.
wait,
as
wait,
that.
No
I'm-
fly, no buy. So the common sense gun regs. Nobody forget the assault weapons ban. Let's do the things that we agree on. We can't even do that.
So if you
Right,
can't, if
on
you have a
both sides.
If you have a history
Hold
of
on, we
mental
only
illness,
have a few more minutes. I do want to touch
all
on
right. Ask you some questions.
at the same press conference, the president's combative battle with the press, and now Jim Acosta from CNC has lost his credentials on a doctored video that the press secretary Sarah
he
Huckabee
lost his-
Sanders.
He should have.
You're talking about them pulling him.
Yeah, he should have. He deserved it.
Put that. Well,
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
I
He
don't
did not
know.
put his
I'm
hands
not.
on
I
him.
ain't.
He have lost it.
No,
seriously.
I don't think.
And who should you talk about responsibility? Who should take responsibility for that whole blow up?
Well, no. First of all, Acosta has been getting on my last nerve the moment
Acosta is out there doing
his job.
No, he has not been. He
Did
has.
you ever hear Obama bitch like this about
He can
Fox
say
News
that?
coming at having tough
We'll censor
questions?
it.
No,
Like that never happened. I mean, there was a time
No.
where that administration kind of in the beginning in 2009 when they
I
wanted to kind of get Fox News out of there, but
I
the
remember.
rest of the press core in the White House was like, no,
Yeah,
they
I
want to stay
understand.
here, and Obama stood up
No,
there and
I-
he took
other
all of
presidents
those
have
bullets
dealt with,
and
and all
dodged
of a
them
sudden
like the
he
Matrix.
is
Now
immune
that
to
the
that.
tables have
No,
turned,
I'm
we don't
serious.
have the people on that side
No.
saying, hey, he deserves to be there. This is all that.
Exactly.
April
No.
Ryan, who he called another enemy of the press, she now has to have personal security because of his
And he called her a
rhetoric.
loser today.
And,
I think it was
because of all of this rhetoric that is going on. Like what he took an oath to. When he took that oath on January 20th or January 19th, whatever the day was,
Well,
He
because
is
it's a
not
women's
living up
march.
to that oath that he put his hand
He
on the
thinks
Bible
he's
and
above
because
reproach.
he is attacking the press.
The press,
And
Jim
this
Acosta.
is terrible.
I won't say
This
he's.
is- this
I
is
think
the
there's
same
some press.
type of tactics that Putin and
No.
and
I think that some
who's
of the
over
press.
China? What's it? I can't even.
That's North
I
Korea.
can't remember.
No.
But yeah, like he's a dictator in his mind,
Mm-hmm.
and the path that he is taking us down.
Jim
is
Acosta
very, very
has taken the
dangerous.
media though down the
has
very
taken us
deep. I think he
by
has.
asking the tough questions.
No, he
by
has
challenging
become
him
the
on the things
news.
that
He has not
He has become the
himself.
news.
He's become the news because
He
the
has
president
become
made
the
him the
news.
news by
Every
singling him out.
Every
and
single
attacking
Because
him.
I didn't even know the guy like that before
No,
then.
I really,
Absolutely.
I have from the beginning.
This
Jim
is one thing
Acosta
that I know
has.
for sure.
Jim
He has
Acosta's
always.
been a White House correspondent at
He
least
has-
the last two
But
administrations.
every single time he's like, "What you're doing to me? How you are treating
it wasn't
me?"
me. It's to the press. He
No,
wanted the
it's
president to say
him.
that the
It
press
is
was
him,
not the
and then
enemy
he
of the
wants to
people.
say to other people, "Hey, why aren't y'all standing up for me?" No, man. You do your job, and your job is to
He
ask
did
the
his
question.
job.
Do his
Stop.
job. That's the
If
whole
they
thing.
said
And they
no,
posted a
okay,
doc-
stop
videos
talking.
and
I
everything.
don't.
He just
our
asked
time
him
because
questions.
I
I don't understand
Yeah,
how
okay.
that.
he's doing his job.
All right.
He just
I don't
literally
know.
asked
She's-
questions. I watched
Okay.
the video.
Don't
she's
say-
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay, Mister.
We
See,
love
this,
you anyway,
see, this
sis.
is why. This is
You
why.
stay drinking the Kool-Aid,
Yes,
but
you
I
do.
love
This
you on the
is
show,
why.
though.
This is
Thank
why
you.
I don't.
Leola
I
Mariah,
love you on the show.
the conservative Leola Mariah,
Comedian,
thank you,
feminist.
James Burnett, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Genesis Blue.
Peace,
I
y'all.
appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next time on the Access Houston Roundtable. Thank you for listening.